Have you verified your YouTube?
Do I have a verified account?
Have you verified your YouTube? There's a 24-hour process you need to verify your YouTube before you can stream.
No, but I was definitely not verified last time I streamed.
So, like, YouTube's never changed their settings before. If it fails again on your phone, it's because you're not verified.
Okay, well, I'm supposedly live. Will you check?
Checking. Now I have to go back.
Somebody showed up. Yay, I'm using my phone. Can you guys hear me? And do I sound like ass?
Yes.
Yes, you can hear me, and yes, I sound like ass? Answer the question, Adam.
I don't...
Okay, somebody else says I sound good, so...
Yeah, your audio is fine.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm having to use my phone because YouTube decided not to cooperate with my webcam, so I brought my laptop out here and set it up for no reason. It's completely my fault. I did not check ahead of time that it was going to work. I just assumed since it worked last time I did it, that it would work this time, but I was incorrect. So that's me being dumb. But there's like 10 people here already, so that's pretty hype. Adam is here, being my man in the chair. There's his arm. We're here to talk about this thing. It's a book. This is the, I can't think of words, proof copy. So yeah, oh, I forgot. I have ears. So we're a little bit late, and we're on my phone, but you know what? Like, who cares? Yay! Yeah, I hope it's the final proof. Hopefully. So, the way that this is going to work, I might, like, let a few more people show up just because we just started, like, 2 minutes ago, but, yeah, kitty ears. How's everybody doing? Everybody feeling good? Nobody's feeling good. Silence. There's probably lag.
There's 3-second lag.
3-second lag, Adam says. Okay, that's fine. Having dinner, says Luna. Shelby just went swimming. Uh-oh, somebody has cookies. Efra is tired. Efra, aren't you, like, staying up until, like, frickin' midnight right now, though? Laura from Trope Trinity Trilogy is here. Hello! She read this book, right? You read this book when it was in beta, Laura, right? Swimming and ice cream? Damn. Yeah, midnight. Yeah, Laura, when you read the new copy, I say when, because I'm assuming you're going to read it. There's going to be a couple of scenes you don't recognize, so that's pretty exciting. Ooh, you just got back from a con? What con? And Shelby has to go to work, which is terrible. Darkest timeline. Fanboy Expo. I have not heard of it. I'll give us until the 5-minute mark, and then I'm going to explain how all of this is going to go down. How's that sound? I keep pausing to, like, let you guys catch up because I know there's a lag. So sorry about the pauses. You met Christopher Lloyd? I'm super jealous now. Everybody's having delicious things. And I thought about bringing like a cookie or something to like celebrate, but then I did not. All I have is water, but it is in the thing that I designed, so. I designed the shirt, I designed this. It's all on my Redbubble, baby. I was going to put like links and everything in the description of this, but now I'm having to use my phone and I don't want to like disturb the gods of this stream, so I'm not going to fuck with anything. You can talk, Adam.
If you can can get the links to me, I can post them.
I'll get the links to Adam and he can post them somewhere. You need that shirt? It's on Redbubble. On my Redbubble, I will get the link to Adam and he will put it somewhere. True, can I join my own stream? Sorry, we're figuring stuff out, everybody. I don't stream very often. Can you tell? Because we don't have good internet out at our house. I don't have a TikTok. I stay away from TikTok. One, I'm probably way too old for TikTok. And two, the amount of like content that TikTok needs you to keep churning out, I couldn't keep up with it. Like I cannot think of that many short, snappy videos all the time, every day. I tried with Reels and I ran out of ideas almost immediately. So I do have Instagram with some Reels, but I am not able to like keep up with that. No TikTok for me, even though I've heard it's a great way to market your books. Requires a lot of effort. Oh, Shelby, you didn't beta this one. The pre-order is for the ebook. Also, I will explain to you how Amazon is just getting its last laughs because the paperback, it's probably both of the books versions are actually probably going to be out tomorrow, not today, but I didn't want to tell everyone a different time for the live stream, so we're still doing this tonight. But what happened is Amazon is like the worst. And so I told it to put up a pre-order for the book like yesterday. I went to go do that. And it, unfortunately, I did not know this. It had to push the pre-order like forward a certain amount of time, and so like technically the book doesn't go live until midnight tonight because of Amazon's pre-order rules. And also the print version, it takes an unknown amount of time, sometimes up to 2 days, for Amazon to get your print version like verified. So on Saturday, I went and I clicked the button to submit it, thinking that that would give me plenty of time. I go back today to check it. It didn't submit, so I had to resubmit it. So unfortunately, I don't know for sure when the print version is going to be available, and all I can do is just laugh because Amazon has to get its last licks in somewhere. That's Amazon gonna Amazon. But I will be sure to let you know across all my platforms when everything is like for sure live for purchasing the book. I just didn't want to reschedule this live stream last minute, so yay. All right, so the way this live stream is going to work is, yeah, Amazon promotes ebooks like crazy, but physical books take forever. Yep. And any little change you want to make on the physical book, Amazon has to reassess it. So you want to change like one word in the blurb, and it has to go through that whole process again. But, you know, it's the best thing out there for those of us trying to do this on the cheap. Okay, so how we're going to do this is we're going to mostly just be doing an AMA, and I'll just be chatting with you guys. But then at different points, like I think at 6:30 we were going to do it, and then at 7 we might push that back a little bit because we got a late start. We're going to be doing a giveaway where you can win copies of the book as well as a sticker from my Redbubble. So we're going to be doing those. Thank you. My sister designed the cover. We're going to be doing those at intervals. Adam will be helping with that. The way that you get entered is you ask a question in the AMA, and then Adam will enter your name. And then at the intervals, we will draw a name to win the book and the sticker. And then what you do is you contact me through one of my social media, and you message me your address so I can mail those things to you. All right? Does that make sense? And then I wait for the chat. Yee, chat gets it. Yes, I would like the giveaway to be international. That's my hope. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be, because I think Amazon will mail stuff anywhere. And if Amazon won't, I will have them mail it to me and then I will send it on. which is why I'm only giving away 2 books, because that gets expensive. But at the very, very end, if anybody's still hanging around, I think we might give you a chance to win a signed proof copy. So this proof copy, but signed. Loud cheers from Canada. Hey, Canada. Canada, you're barely international. I could drive to you very easily. Yay! I also might read from the book, maybe, if we have time. So we'll see how long the AMA takes. I was going to go for an hour and then maybe a little bit longer if people are just like enjoying their time here. Adam is in the chat, making sure that people will get their names copied down.
As I receive their questions, I'll paste them in here, so you don't have to worry about scrolling back through the chat. Just look.
Okay. Adam is also going to help me keep track of questions, so I don't have to scroll back through the chat. And also, I've made him a moderator, so I figured out how to do that. Are you proud of me? I'm proud of me. Ooh, 1 a.m. in Spain. Yeah, Laura, I'm in Wisconsin, so I could just kind of drive to Canada if I wanted to. Adam just dropped the Redbubble link to the sticker that you can win if you want to check that out. Or if you want to wander around my Redbubble. All right, so I think we can get this AMA started whenever. Yeah, Laura's with the Gators in Florida. Heh. All right, Adam, are you going to be reading me the questions, or?
I can, but you can grab the first one from.
Okay, so the first question is, we know there's a cat, of course, but are there other critters, ferrets, perhaps? There are no ferrets. I actually wrote this in 2016 was when I started it, and we didn't have ferrets at that point, but there are horses. Specifically, the main horse is based off of my old horse, October. So that's neat. October has passed away, but she lives on in print.
Our next question is from Luna, and it is asking if this book is good for a 10-year-old.
I would say yes. I have it right now in the age group of like 10 to 18 on Amazon. I wish it would say 18 plus, because honestly, I feel like you could read this book at pretty much any age. There's no swearing, there's no sex, there is violence. So if your 10-year-old can't handle any violence, and like there's themes in it that a 10-year-old like might not get, but so, it's still an enjoyable story, I think, either way. So yeah, 10-year-old, I think, could easily enjoy this book. As well as adults. She's a violent 10-year-old. Good, perfect. This is perfect for her. I see, I have another question. Do you want to grab it, Adam? Okay. Hang on, I need to get the chat back. It went away and I don't know how to get it back. I'm very new at this.
I am reading all of that.
Okay.
When I read your book, I related to Joanna the most. How did you develop her character and create her internal struggle?
So all of the characters in this book came about because I was looking at the original story, and like none of the people had personalities, none of the humans had personalities, and so I was like, first I did Levi, who's the miller's son, and I was like, why is the miller's son like the way that he is in the story? Like, why is he just kind of a doofus? And so I gave a reason for that, and then I was like, the princess doesn't even get a name in the original story, so I was like, kind of wanted to make her like a central feature, and I love a warrior princess, so I knew that had to be a thing right away. And Joanna is an asexual, obviously based on myself, but love a warrior princess, and also her personality, she's a little bit unlikable, I feel. Some people have a little trouble with her personality because she's just like so leap before you look as a person, so she can be kind of frustrating in that way, whereas you just sometimes you want to grab her and be like, Joanna, will you think for 10 seconds? Which is not me, so I don't relate to her in that way, but I do relate to her just wanting to help people. And also she uses 2 swords, and in the LARP that I play, I use 2 swords, so we're alike in that way too. So I don't know, I just came up with Joanna because I kind of wanted to push her as far away from this sort of nameless nobody princess that happened in the original story. That was a long answer. Do I have another question, Adam?
So, Afra asks, and we're jumping a little bit because you're kind of answering, why retell this particular story?
Why retell Puss in Boots? Well, for one thing, it's one of the retellings that hasn't been done a million times. Like, I would love to retell Beauty and the Beast, but I have no ideas for it that nobody else has already done. That one's done to death. So, but I love animals, obviously, and I was looking at Puss in Boots, and it made me ask a lot of questions. Why is the miller's son like this? Why? What's up with the princess? She just gets married off to a guy. She doesn't even get a name. What's up with the ogre? What if the cat didn't talk and wear boots? Actual boots. So just kind of why and what if questions started flying when I was just going back through this fairy tale, and that's what inspired it. To, retelling of this particular fairy tale.
Shelby asks, are there other retellings you'd be interested in doing in the future? I know you've mentioned Cinderella and Beauty and the Beast, but even beyond fairy tales?
I would love to do a Beauty and the Beast someday, but like I said, I don't have any ideas that are, original enough. And I've thought about Cinderella. Again, nothing has really stuck. I've thought about going through and looking at other fairy tales. What is it, Adam?
Nutcracker.
I guess it doesn't really qualify as a fairy tale, but I do have an idea that I'll probably never do anything with the Nutcracker, like the ballet, except for it's based on a book, which I have not read. I own it, but I haven't read it. And I want to do a prequel to the Nutcracker, but that doesn't really count as a fairy tale necessarily. Kind of falls into the same sort of area of sort of fan fiction for public domain things. So yeah, otherwise not really anything in the works.
Would you do another story with animals as the main character?
I can, and I have. If you check out my, Wattpad, I have stories with animals as the main characters, specifically animals in the zombie apocalypse, because that idea fascinates me, but I would definitely do other stories with animals as the main characters. It's a bit of a hard sell. Some people are just vehemently against reading stories with animals as the main characters for various reasons. Sometimes it seems too juvenile. Sometimes they've read too many stories where the animals are written poorly, whatever the reason. So I think I might even have trouble with this book trying to sell it because one of the viewpoint characters is just a cat.
Luna asks, is there any chance that this could be a coloring book or a Boots-themed coloring book could be a thing?
Probably not. I have tried doing coloring books because I draw. You guys know that I draw. But I lose interest about 2 images in. So it's doubtful that this will ever be a coloring book, but you never know. Maybe someday. I also am very bad at drawing people. All of the character portraits, I had to heavily use a reference to do the character portraits because I suck at drawing people. Got another question for me, Adam?
Trope Trinity asks, what is something unique to Boots compared to your other books?
Unique to Boots. I feel like many authors out there in the world that if you've read my books, you will pick up on my style, my themes, the things that appear in a lot of my books. I like to think that I arrange them in interesting ways, but I don't know as if there's, the animal being a viewpoint character, I don't have that in any of my other published works. Yeah, I mean, there's a different magic system because I created this world for these characters, so the magic is different from any of my other books and will be different from any of my other books. But like, I don't know if there's anything like huge that like separates this from all of my other work. If you like my other work, you'll probably like this. If you hate my other work, one, why are you here? And two, this is probably not going to change your mind. It's a Julian book through and through.
So first, we have a lot of support from the chat about cat-themed POVs or cat books.
Good. I'd love to hear it. I mean, there's only 16 of you, but I love to hear that all 16 of you are hyped.
And Shelby has a suggestion for a fairy tale retelling for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do Beauty and the Beast in the zombie apocalypse.
I mean, that probably has not been done before. Would the Beast be a zombie? I feel like actually that has been done before. So maybe the Beast would have to not be a zombie. Like the zombies would have to be incidental to the Beauty and the Beast story also happening. But, maybe. I'll ponder it. I do love me a zombie apocalypse very much. There are no zombies in this book, so. I think Trope Trinity Trilogy, you mentioned that Boots makes you feel nostalgic. I think nostalgic is a great feeling that I would definitely say this book feels nostalgic to me and feels very cozy, safe. Like this book is not going to distress you. So if you're looking for something just pleasant with some violence in it, I recommend this one. Shelby says that the beast could be the guy trying to fix the zombie virus. So that's an idea, like a scientist. Ooh, what if he started the virus and now he feels guilty and he wants to fix it, but like the Beauty character has to like come to forgive him for his evil zombie starting ways. I'm just throwing out free ideas here. If you beat me to it, you can write this. I don't care. Any more questions, Adam?
There are currently no new questions.
No
in
new
the
questions.
chat.
All right.
You might be forced to read an excerpt.
Oh man. I'll give him a few seconds just to see what. Phoenix is fun. My first published book, Phoenix. It is not my first book, but it's my first published book. I still am proud, I wouldn't say proud of Phoenix, but I don't hate Phoenix, and that's about all I can ask for as an author.
All right. We do have 2 questions up in chat now, and Luna asks, who is your favorite character from the book?
My favorite character from Boots, it changes. Right now, I think it's Levi, because he's a precious being. He is a cinnamon roll and must be protected at all costs. But it changes. Sometimes it's Joanna, sometimes it's Lyle, sometimes it's the cat. So just right now, it's Levi. When I was rereading the book for the final edit before I put it out, I definitely fell back in love with all of them. But Levi is just a sweet, precious being.
Seacat asks, where'd I put it? Oh no, I lost it. Would Joanna and Maeve get along?
Probably not. I think they would hate each other. They both, for different reasons, have a tendency to react before they think. Joanna, because she's just like very determined, and Maeve because she has anxiety, and that's how her anxiety manifests. And so I think they would hate each other because they would be at constant odds, like just reacting to things and each other, and just they would butt heads like crazy. They both need somebody steadying in their lives. Joanna has Lyle, her bodyguard, and Maeve has Valentine, of course.
Trinity asks, kiss, marry, and kill the 3 Boots protagonists. Go.
I would. Oh man, that's tough. Because my instinct is to say I would give Boots a little smoochy smooch. I would marry Joanna because we're both asexuals. But that means I have to kill Levi, and I do not want to do that to him. So do I kill the cat because it's just has a naturally shorter lifespan as a cat, or do I kill Levi and hope that by some magical means can resurrect him or something? I don't know. Don't make me kill. Or do I try to kill Joanna and then she just kills me because I would lose a fight with Joanna? But I would definitely give the kitty a little smooch on its little noggin.
AOAK asks, did you have an author that inspired you?
So people who are familiar with my channel probably already know the answer to this question, but the 2 main authors who inspired me are Brian Jakes, who wrote the Redwall books, and Tamara Pierce. And I think my style is a lot like later Pierce. Her first books, she struggles. Her first books aren't as good. But her later books, I feel like her and my style is fairly similar. So I think if you like Pierce, you will probably like my books. Yeah, those are my 2 big inspirations. I've mentioned them many a time in a video, so I won't go into it here.
Andrea Hartman asks, what was the hardest or best part of writing Boots? So I think that's 2 questions. What is the hardest part? What is the best part?
Hardest part? Probably, I don't know, like the writing of it was so long ago, the first draft, I don't remember much about it. I think it came pretty easily. It is 3 POVs, which I don't usually do. So it's a bit of a diversion from my normal style. And then I kind of went back to writing single POVs there for a hot minute. But that I didn't find actually all that hard because they're so different and doing very different things from each other. But hardest, I think, probably in the whole process was when I was querying Boots, trying to figure out how to make it stand out. I don't think I ever quite succeeded on making it stand out to agents, obviously. And so I did go in and do some rewrites which hopefully made it better. You guys will have to tell me. And that was kind of like frustrating. As usual, editing is the hardest part.
A follow-up question from Andrea.
Mm-hmm.
If every character in Boots had to be played by a character in Shrek, who would play who, and hard modes Puss can't play Boots?
No, absolutely would not have the Puss in Boots from Shrek play Boots the cat. They have nothing in common. And that was a problem I think I was having, is that when everybody hears Puss in Boots, they think of the Shrek version. And this cat is absolutely not that. So no. Would Boots be Donkey? Like, it kind of falls like very loosely. Obviously, none of these characters are suited to the characters in Shrek really at all. But loosely, Levi could be Shrek, Joanna could be Fiona, and Boots could be Donkey. Very loosely. If you turn your head sideways, squint, and were very drunk or high at the time. Got another one for me, Adam?
I am looking. I think I'm a little bit behind. Here we go.
Shelby asks, was Boots' personality based on any particular pet you had?
No, Boots was not specifically based on any of my previous or current cats. The horse, like I mentioned, was based on a horse that I've had, but Boots the cat is his own cat. And he is proud of it too. He would probably almost be upset if he found out that I based him on a different cat. How dare I?
would Boots get along with your pets? / would you adopt Boots?
I mean, of course I'd adopt Boots. I love orange kitties. I don't have any orange kitties right now, and that is a crime. But of course I would adopt him, and I think he would get along fine with the rest of our pets. We already have a bit of a zoo. Boots, the cat, in the book, gets along with other animals, so he'd get along with the people in our household. By people, I mean animals. The squad. He would get along with the squad. He and Avi would probably get up to mischief together. It would be great. For them, not for me.
Tuesday's Art asks, is Boots more akin to Boots from Dora?
Nope, he's not like Boots from Dora either. He'd also be upset if he was compared like that as well. He is his own cat. He cannot be compared. Sorry about the pauses, everyone. Just waiting for the stream to catch up.
Have you ever had an orange kitty like Boots?
Yeah, I have. My first cat was an orange kitty. His name was Little, and he appeared one day as a kitten when I was very young. And this kitten came out of nowhere, no idea where the rest of his family was, and literally attached himself to my leg, like hug. And I was just like, well, okay, clearly I have been chosen. And that was my first cat, was Little the orange cat.
And speaking of orange kitties, have you played Stray?
I have not. I'm intrigued, but not sure like if I want to pay full price. Like I'd probably wait for it to be on sale. I'm not so hyped about it that I want to buy it like right away.
Is Boots orange in the original, back when you were betaing?
You mean in the original story of Puss in Boots, or do you mean way back in the early versions? Yes, he was always orange in my versions of the book. The Puss in Boots cat in the original story, the color of the cat I don't believe is mentioned, but he's commonly depicted as orange, and I love orange cats, so I stuck to that with my cat.
How much of the original story comes through, and how does it differ? No spoilers.
Most of the story itself, the original story, is incredibly simple. So it works really well as beats, and all of the beats are there. So if you're familiar, except for the marriage at the end, that I guess it's a bit of a spoiler, but Joanna's an asexual princess, so. But otherwise, like the main beats of the story can be found within this version. They're just very much fleshed out and explained and characterized and so forth.
I think you already got this, but Trinity clarified original fairy tale thing.
Okay, yep, I covered that.
All right. Then we'll move on to a question from Andrea. To what degree does your Boots have dumb orange male cat energy?
Unfortunately, this whole orange cats share one brain cell came along far too late for it to factor into my book. Boots, the cat, though he is orange, is quite intelligent. And if he does say so himself. So unfortunately, it is not the derpy orange cats share one brain cell, unless he's got the brain cell. He's got it all the time. He's keeping it from all the other cats. Very rude of him.
Hold on.
Oh,
Making
hang on a
question
second.
Larger.
Un momento, por favor.
Jay Lisa asks, are you publishing only through Amazon or are you going wide?
For now, only through Amazon. All of my books are only through Amazon just because of the affordability and the ease. I struggle with getting Amazon to cooperate with me, and I've heard places like Ingram Spark, it's like a huge struggle to get your book correct on there and the way that you want it, and I am completely daunted by that. I had to fight for 2 days 2 full days to get the margins correct on Amazon. So I do not have the fortitude to try to publish it like somewhere else. I'm not saying never. Like in the future, it definitely could happen. But right now, I'm kind of restricted to Amazon by my own abilities and by monetary issues. Like Amazon is free. I could publish for free on Amazon. And easy, heavy quotations.
In that vein, are you ever going to try traditional publishing again?
I still think about becoming a hybrid. I think that one of my books that was querying for a while and has since stopped querying, The Game, some of you may be familiar with it, I think it would be a really good traditionally published book. I think it would do excellently. And I'm not just saying that because it's my book, because there's definitely some books I've written that I don't think would be good traditionally published books. But right now I'm backing away from trad publishing because I don't like where traditional publishing is at right now. The querying scene is kind of a total mess still after 2020. And I'm just like, you know what, if I can publish myself, I'm gonna do that for a while. And there might be a couple of books that I sit on that I will try to trad pub again. But for right now, I'm out of the querying game for the moment.
All right, I'm gathering everyone's questions as they have been asked, but then we are going to take our first step away break for our drawing.
Yeah.
And then we'll return to our questions and our final drawing at the end.
Okay, so Adam's going to keep gathering those questions, but if you can hold off on questions for the moment, and then we'll do the drawing, and then we will have back to the question and answer until our next drawing. So first drawing is going to be for a copy of the book and a sticker, the cat sticker from Redbubble. So we'll just hang out while Adam gets that sorted. I never know what to do on streams. I'm very awkward.
Dances.
Yeah, I can dance. A little shepherd shuffle going on here. I'm sorry, Afra. The Game is one of my favorite books that I've ever written, but I'm hesitating to self-publish it because I want to maybe try traditional publishing with it again. I didn't query it for like a super long time before 2020 happened and the traditional publishing scene just went up in fucking flames. So, yeah.
Do you want to do the announcement or?
Sure. Have we discovered who our first winner is? Okay, who is our first winner? Andrea is the winner of the sticker. The sticker is going to Andrea. So Andrea, contact me on any of my social media and give me your address, pretty please, and I will send you that Boots sticker from Redbubble. And the winner of the book is Trope Trinity Trilogy. Laura, you win the book. That's great because you were a beta reader for it. I'm like super hyped to send you that book. Yeah. 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 Laura beta read the book way back a million billion years ago. I hope that you like the changes. You'll definitely notice some changes, hopefully good ones. Yeah, go dox yourself, Laura. Don't do it here. Don't do it here. Just send your address. I probably have your address somewhere because you won a sticker way back some other time in a giveaway that I did. But send me it again because I don't know it. I have read the Lunar Chronicles. I read the first one and thought it was okay, and then I kept going with the series and was not super impressed. So sorry to Lunar Chronicles fans. Uh-oh, Shelby's gonna come for me. All right, so we can get back to the questions. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I will catch up to all the
Dancing.
questions you've been throwing in the chat. Keep putting them out there, but we're going back to Amanda Ports' question. As a pantser, is writing a reteller harder for you or easier, or the same as writing a fresh idea from scratch?
Kind of the same, but I think it uses the same brain space as writing fan fiction, which I also love to do. It's sort of like I get to write a fan fiction, but nobody's gonna like look down on me because it's a fairy tale retelling, which is the kind of fan fiction that's cool to do. I'm a little bit salty that people look down on fan fiction. Can you tell? Yeah. But as a pantser, it's the same. It's the same. I pants everything. Fan fiction, everything. All right.
So Shelby is going back to a little bit of our Puss in Boots Shrek-ish retelling.
Why?
They want to ask, can you tell us anything about the ogre in your retelling? Such as, will they get married?
The ogre in this retelling is also nothing like Shrek. Shrek will haunt me forever. Nothing like Shrek. The ogre is probably about as far from Shrek as you can possibly get. I don't want to tell you too much about the ogre because it's not what you're expecting at all. So, yeah, I'm going to keep that. You're going to find that out in the story. But, yeah, it's not Shrek. I mean, the ogre does not get married at the end. I think I made it to Cress, but I can't remember what I made it to. Yeah, I think I DNF'd Cress. I'm sorry.
Trinity asks, when they beta read your book, they had no clue what the cover would be, but yours is stunning. How did the concept for your cover come to fruition? Was it your concept, or did you let the artist take the reins?
Great question. So my cover artist is my younger sister, Amber Greystoke. I will try to remember to link you her page because she does commissions. She has done the cover for both Boots and for The Wolf and the Hawk. Basically what I do is I'm like, help, I need a new cover, and I send her like all of my Pinterest boards, and I sent her a bunch of different ideas. This cover was really actually tough. This took us a long time. So I'll send her a bunch of ideas and like themes and colors and stuff like that, and then she'll send me back very rough sketches. And this is actually a scene, minus the swords. The swords aren't there. This is a scene from the book. So we landed on that one, and I was really nervous because I was like, I'm going to put a cat on the cover of this book that can be very much enjoyed by adults. Is this going to make my book look like a middle grade and no adults are going to want to pick it up? Like I said, perfectly safe for kids to read, but hopefully my audience will be wider than children because I am not actually a children's author. I mostly write young adult and adult books. So, and I talked to my patrons about it. If you're not a patron of mine, I talk to them and ask them for advice a lot of times. And they thought that the cat on the cover worked, so we went with that. I think it's a great cover. Still a little bit nervous about the cat, but we'll see. I like it.
If you could briefly revisit Hedgie Hodge Dilemma 5 missed the earlier question of why you decided to retell Puss in Boots.
Okay, quick revisit. I wanted to do a fairy tale retelling. I have always liked the story of Puss in Boots, and when I reread it, I started asking myself a bunch of questions, like, what's up with the miller's son? Why is he such a sad sack? No offense to Levi, you're my precious baby. What is up with the princess? Why does she not even get a name and no agency? And also, what if I retold the story but the cat didn't talk or wear boots? So basically it was reading the story and having a bunch of what if questions pop into my head is why I decided to retell this one.
I don't know if this was a question, but I'm going to ask it anyways. If it was Garfield versus Boots, a celebrity death match, who would win?
Probably Boots, because Garfield would be too lazy to do anything. Garfield would be like, fuck no, I'm not even doing this. That other cat can win, and that would be the end. And then they'd probably go eat lasagna together. It'd be great.
Trope Trinity asks, will the game ever be self-published, or will you continue to sit on it? And we had a couple people speak up in chat that it is one of their favorite works of yours.
I know, I really like it too, you guys. If I didn't feel that it was so good, like it would be so good for traditional publishing, I wouldn't be sitting on it. But I think the Adventurer Mage series is going to come out before I end up self-publishing the game. If I get all the way through the Adventurer Mage series and I haven't gone back to querying the game, there's a good chance that I'll finally decide to self-publish it. But it's going to probably be a couple years. So I apologize to everyone who loved the game. I love it too. And I feel like it's good enough. Well, good enough. I say good enough. I feel like it's commercial enough for it to be traditionally published. If I can just get some agent to pay attention to it. Deal.
Tuesday Art asks, where can they send fan art your way?
Any of my social media. I love fan art. It's like my favorite thing. So any of my social media, send fan art my way and I will showcase it. And if you send me fan art and I don't showcase it, I have just forgotten. Feel free to be like, yo, Julian, I sent you fan art. Where's my praise? And I will be like, oh yeah, that's right. I do mean to praise you up to the heavens because I love fan art. Puss in Crocs.
Hedgehog has another question. What is your favorite retold fairy tale?
I love Beauty and the Beast retellings, but I think of the retellings of any fairy tale that I have read, Ella Enchanted is my #1 favorite. It is such a good book, so solid. It's a middle grade that I can tolerate rereading. Mwah, chef's kiss. Sorry if I'm not keeping up with the chat as well, because I'm just waiting for questions.
Luna asks, how would one become a beta reader?
Great question. Pay attention to my channel is the best way to find out when I'm looking for beta readers. I do post it everywhere, all of my social media, when I'm looking for a beta, but I will always post it here on YouTube. Keep fluctuating between 17 and 18 viewers. Somebody keeps hopping on and off again.
Trope Trinity has a new question. Is there any public domain book you would want to retell besides the Nutcracker?
Not really? I don't know. I don't read that many public domain stories. Maybe a Sherlock Holmes story. That would be fun. I love Sherlock Holmes. Maybe. I have done some Sherlock fanfic, from BBC Sherlock fanfic, but nothing springs to mind.
Oh, I missed a question.
Mm-hmm.
What is a pantser?
Who asked that?
Luna asked.
Oh, Luna, okay. Somebody who's maybe a little bit more new to my channel. I'm like, everybody here should know that. I know most of these people. Like, I recognize most of these people watching me today. Hi, Scribble Doll, and Flame Loud. I don't recognize Flame Loud. But Luna, to answer your question, there are multiple different ways to write a book, many, many ways, but there's kind of a spectrum, and on one end you have what we generally call a plotter, which is somebody who has a very clear plan for the book beforehand. They write it all down, they bullet point it, they put it on sticky notes, they have one of those like giant walls with the pieces of string, like they have everything, character bios, everything all figured out beforehand. And on the other end, with all kinds of different methods in between, we have what we call pantsers, and we're called that because we write by the seat of our pants, meaning we don't have a plan, we don't write anything down beforehand, we just start writing. And that's the flavor that I am. I do know a few things beforehand, but I am a just go kind of writer. I don't need to have any kind of rigid plan beforehand. Year of the Author is here. Hello, more people that I know. A read-along viewer. Yes, very soon the next read-along will be coming. I almost have enough videos collected to start that, so it's going to be a doozy.
All right, our next question is from Seacat, can you assign your main characters as godly parents a la Percy Jackson?
That would require me to actually know more than just like the basic pantheon of gods. There are gods in my book. There are animal gods who are patrons of certain characters, but I'm going to let you read and find out who that is. So, not really. Sorry, I'm not very familiar with like anything but like the main gods, and not familiar even enough with them to assign them as godly parents.
So we know Shrek, Fiona, and Boots. Who would they be in your books? But is there a character of yours for the dragon? And what about Farquaad?
Never gonna escape Shrek. Why do you all hate me? What did I ever do to you people?
You wrote a book based off the movie.
Oh yeah, obviously. Obviously that's what it was based off of. Okay, the king, Joanna's father, he could be Farquaad. He's not short, but he's kind of a dick. So there you go, there's that. Bad dads is a theme you see in a lot of my books. What was the other one? The dragon. No. Maybe the horse, because do they ride on the dragon at any point in the Shrek movies? That would be the only correlation. Otherwise, because the cat and the horse do not have weird, freaky hybrid babies, so no. Whoever writes the fan fiction of my book set in the Shrek universe, fucking send it to me. I want it.
I'm a little behind. Sorry. All right.
Adam's behind.
Andrea Hartman asks, if Boots did not wear the titular boots, what footwear would you choose for him instead? And do you think that would influence the tone of the story? Fan favorite from your chat is Crocs.
Crocs. I mean, it's almost got to be Crocs at this point. Although, fun fact, the cat in this story does not wear boots, ever. His name is Boots, because he got little white feet. See? His name is Boots. But I'm going to go with Crocs, if I could put footwear on the cat.
Would that influence the personality or the tone?
No,
of the story?
I think Boots would make the Crocs work for him. I think the story would just go on as normal, and then everyone would just accept that the cat was wearing Crocs. 0 questions about the Croc cat.
Tuesday's Art asks, is it still worth publishing if your story doesn't fit conventional demographics? I notice there aren't a lot of adult stories advanced for animals, but I'm too stubborn to change my characters.
Look, one thing about me, this could turn into a rant. I loathe categories. Loathe them. I believe that anybody should be able to pick up a book, whatever, and read it if they enjoy it. I hate that things get labeled like, oh, that's YA, so I won't like it. Oh, that's adult, so you can't read it. Oh, that's middle grade. Hate it. Hate it so much. All of my books are meant to be enjoyed by like as many people as possible. If you're having fun with the book, then good. So I am going to say, of course, I am going to say, write that book with that anthropomorphic cat, even if it's more of an adult book. Write it. But like, factor in that my advice comes from a place of absolutely loathing categories and like rigid categories like that with every fiber of my being. Oh good, they do ride the dragon. There you go. That's it. That's the...
Shelby has a slightly off-topic question, to which the answer is 5. I've plotted 5 for Julian. But they want to know how many adventurer mage books there will be.
3! There will be 3. I'm already writing the 3rd one. You can keep up with it on my Wattpad if you want to watch it in progress. I put up 1 chapter a week of the first draft, so it's crunchy. It's crunchy. Of all of them, So if you're like, I need Adventure of Rage right now, and I don't care if it's not in its final form, you can go read it. But my plan is 3. Adam wants more. The plan is 3.
So this book is already long enough to be broken up into 2 if we do it on Amazon. So this will be 3 and 4, and then I've got the plot for the
That's
next
true.
one ready. So
Book 3 is going to be a chonker. It's going to be a chonker, which terrifies me because I'm so nervous about writing chonky books. Traditional publishing has driven into me that writing long books is bad because they're so rigid about like page count and word count. But Amazon will not publish anything over 800 pages, and in print, Adventure of Mage 3 will probably go over that, so it might need to be split up into 2.
So please go to their WhatsApp or Wattpad?
Wattpad.
Go to their Wattpad and encourage them so that book 5 can be written.
Sequel idea: Boots has kittens and they lose their mittens. I could see it. I'm retelling nursery rhymes now. Turned it into an epic saga of kittens trying to find their mittens.
So I apologize, Trope Trinity. I did not read ahead your question. We kind of just answered it, which is Adventurer Mage going to end as a trilogy? And if yes, do you have an idea of what you will write next? So you do have the follow-up of what are you going to write after book 5?
Book 3, Adam. Book 3. I really want to write. Right now, it could completely change. I kind of just vibe. Like when I finish a book, I just go where the spirit leads me, and whatever I want to write next, I start writing. But in the back of my mind, I have this idea for a cyberpunk Murder on the Orient Express, and I kind of want to make it happen. It would be my first mystery. I might have to do some plotting for the first time in my fucking life, because I don't know if you can write a mystery and pants it completely. But it's there. It won't leave. It's there.
We're continuing in our off-topic questions. How is the move going?
Slow, because we're remodeling the new house. So I'm tearing up floors, I'm tearing up carpets, I'm repainting everything. So the move is going slow. Luckily, we don't have to be. We live in a house that I rent from my parents, so they're not kicking us out. So there's no like big timeline where we have to be out by this certain time. Just as fast as we can go, basically.
We're getting murder mystery love for the Orient Express, and so I have to do the pitch again for the number 5 Wattpad mystery sensation.
Yeah, for some reason, it's still, it has not slowed down. My Wattpad book, Second Floor, is my most popular one, and it did make it to like number 5 in some obscure category, which I think was like mystery or something, because I don't think people write too many mysteries on Wattpad. So Adam is hyped.
It's worth being hyped over.
Second Floor is a mess, and I don't know why people love it so much, but I'm glad that they do. I mean, it's crunchy as fuck, but it's enjoyable, I guess.
Okay, so we're getting a little bit back on topic.
Okay.
Trump Trinity asks, why would you not write the Nutcracker prequel?
The only reason I haven't written the Nutcracker prequel is because when I have finished a book, the vibes were not there to write that one. So that one's just remaining in the brain banks until the vibes are there, basically. I obey the vibes. I do as they say. The vibes told me to write 3 Adventure Mage books instead.
Hedgie Hog, how do I get my cat to feature in a sequel of Boots? Or perhaps any book.
There will be no sequel of Boots unless we do that gritty Kittens Who Lost Their Mittens retelling. But Boots is a standalone. But if you want your cat to feature in a book of mine, butter me up enough, maybe. Could happen.
I want I want to give a shout out to another Wattpad sensation, CCAT, who got into the top 10 for the hijinks category.
Ooh, that's a great category I didn't even know existed. Hijinks. I love hijinks. What is the title of this book that is filled with hijinks? The hijinks book.
All right, we will ask. Okay, yeah, we'll ask Afra's question while we wait for the book's title for hijinks to be brought in. You used to be super focused on single books, so how hard has it been to adjust to writing series, and how much do you blame your spouse for it?
I blame him a lot, and it's been hard. I'm not very good at it. As you know, I set aside Dragonfly, which was the second book in the Wolf and the Hawk series, and my first ever sequel. So I'm much happier with how Adventurer Mage is going, but it's challenging, and I don't want to talk too much about it because I actually talk about it in a video that's coming out on my Patreon. So sorry, people who aren't on my Patreon, but I do talk about it. It's different. It's challenging. I'm finding new challenges in it, but challenges are good.
CCAT has shared it is an Owl House fic, The Illusions of Grandeur.
Ah, nice. Everybody go read it. Give it thumbs up for hijinks.
Trope Trinity wants to know if you would edit and publish Second Floor.
I want to. I was actually thinking about that on the ride here, that I would like to polish up Second Floor. I know the big changes I want to make. There's some foreshadowing that I need to put at the beginning, because Second Floor was completely pantsed. Like, usually I have an idea of the ending at least and some stuff in the middle. Second Floor was completely unknown. I didn't know where it was going at any given time. It was all vibes, and it's also my most popular Wattpad book. So, but I definitely need to go back in and like fix some stuff that resulted from it being nothing but vibes. But I want to someday. It's just a novella, but someday when I have a gap between books and I'm not like chomping at the bit to write something else, I'll go back in and edit and publish that one properly. Second Floor does have a fat kitty. He's also orange, and he's closer, I think, to the all orange cats share the same brain cell. I think he's more akin to that. His name is Cheese, and I love him. And actually because I reuse characters if a story doesn't take off. A story that I started and never went anywhere with had a fat cat named Cheese, so he wandered into a Second Floor from that book that's never going to get done. I love orange cats. Can you tell? They keep winding up in my books. I'm just like, and you get an orange cat, and you get an orange cat.
We'll skip ahead quick to a trope question about cats. Do any of your cats die in these books?
Nope. I suspect Laura knows the answer to that, but she's asking the real questions. My animals tend to not die in my books because I am super sick of animals dying left, right, and center in books. So you can be pretty. I'm trying to think if I ever kill an animal, like a main character animal. I have killed some tangential side animals before, but main character animals that you have gotten to know and love, they're gonna live. Humans, maybe not, but animals, yes.
Alright, Andrea has a question, and we've got one more after this before we go into our final round of giveaways.
Yeah.
Keep submitting your questions. We'll stick around and keep chatting.
I'll hang
We'll
out
do
as
our
long as y'all want to
second
hang out.
giveaway in just a moment.
All right.
Andrea asks, what research did you do for Boots beyond looking at the original story?
Oh, I researched bridges. There's a scene that involves a bridge under construction, and I went and researched that type of bridge, how they're made, all of that stuff. I do it because I'm a pantser. I do it as I go. I don't research beforehand, so I didn't even know I was going to have to know about bridges. But then I got to that scene, and I was like, well, I suppose I ought to know about bridges now. And I went and researched a bunch about bridges.
Alright, and we've had some confusion. You kind of answered it, but to clear things up, Shelby wants to know, are there dragons in Boots?
Technically, yes. Kind of. But it would be a spoiler to tell you where and why. So, I will not. Yeah, Hedgehog, there's always that weird rabbit hole, and with Boots it was bridges. All right, I think we're getting set up for our giveaway, yeah? Or is there one more question?
Yes, we are doing your giveaway.
Giveaway time.
We have a sticker, a book, and then a limited edition.
Do we want to wait for that one and make that like our final giveaway if people hang around longer? Sure, let's do that. Okay, so another sticker, and another book are going to be up for grabs, and then if we hang around longer, then I will give away this signed proof copy. So, incentive to chill with me longer into the night, or my night. But let's go. Let's give away a sticker, and let's give away a book. If you ask a question and Adam misses it, we apologize. He's working on getting the winners. Okay, the winner of the sticker is Afra. You have won the Orange Kitty sticker. Yay! I hope you're keeping track of who's won what. Okay. That would be inconvenient. So send me your address on one of my social media. I promise not to do anything evil with it. And then, who is the winner of the book? Shelby! You win the book. Huzzah! So get me your info, and I will send that your way. And then we'll just hold on to this bad boy until I decide that we've gotten bored and want to give this away. Woo! Yeah, for the winners. So far, my winners have been people who are like my regulars here on this channel, and that pleases me because my regulars deserve all the love and prizes. That's right. Sorry to anybody who's newer. I apologize. But my regulars have been there for the long haul. They are the OG.
All right, we're getting into our next round of questions then. Trope Trinity asks, would Boots and Cheese be friends?
Probably. I don't think they would dislike each other. They would probably just hang out in the way of cats, so kind of near each other but not making eye contact. Boots is a bit more active than Cheese. Cheese is more of a fat cat, and he just likes to lay around more. But both of them help their humans save the day, so that's exciting.
Where did it go? And we're going to Boots versus Goose.
Boots versus Goose. Boots is a very accomplished hunter, and he's a largish cat, so he might win. It would be a really pitched battle, and I'm not sure. I'm inclined to say Boots because I like him, but the goose might win. Especially if the goose has a knife. Like there's that picture of the goose with a knife. I think then the goose would definitely win.
All right, I think Scribadol is lying to us because we are not this planned ahead. They asked, did you plan on doing the Boots release party on International Cats Day?
No! But cool. Once again, the vibes have led me exactly where I need to be. Even though I'm having all kinds of trouble with the release. But the release party...
Jumping back into the order of things, favorite animal character in media?
That is a great question, and I would have to think about that because there's a lot of animals that I love. I don't know off the top of my head who's my favorite.
It's Pips.
He's not my favorite, but I do love him. I do love him. His is a him, correct? Yes, Pips is a boy horse?
Yes.
Okay. Pips is from Wheel of Time, and he's my favorite character in the Wheel of Time books. He's a horse.
Speaking of ponies, Trope Trinity wants to know, I forgot the name of the horse in Boots, but would she be friends with Storm and Strawberry, and what's their name?
Molly is the horse's name in Boots, and she would be friends with Strawberry easily. But Storm would, both of the mares would find Storm absolutely obnoxious because he's a stallion and he's a dickhead. So they would just chase him away and give him the mare stare at all times.
I think I'm caught up on questions. I'm double checking. If I've missed yours, just throw it back in the chat for me.
The mare stare is real. Fear the mare stare. Just vibing. If people are running out of questions, let me know. That's fine. We went the hour. Let Adam know if he missed your question. Could also read you a little bit from Boots if we wanted to do that, if we're out of questions.
Aha, we do have a question coming in. Do anything you plan on working on after Adventurer Mage 5?
There's the possibility of the Murder on the Orient Express, Cyberpunk Murder on the Orient Express, Outer Space Train. I just have very loose ideas of it right now. But loose ideas is how I get started, so I just have to wait for it to coalesce, and I've not been letting it coalesce because I need to concentrate on Adventurer Mage.
Oh, okay. You got a great question coming up, but I wanna go in order.
Ooh, hype.
Trope Trinity wants to know, is there anything you can share about the characters after the books that isn't too spoilery?
Well, there is a I always forget, is it epilogue or prologue that comes at the end of the book? Epilogue. I'm a writer. I know how books work. There's an epilogue that kind of tells you about all of the characters, so I will not reveal. You will have to read and find out.
Copying and pasting madly.
We got a whole bunch more questions, which I'm hyped about. I love answering questions.
Hedgie Hog, and here's the question for you, asks, protagonists in stories are always getting stallions.
Yep.
Would a mare be better?
So I've talked about this in a video. Stallions sure sound neat, but they are incredibly difficult to handle. 99% of the time, your stallion is thinking with one thing and one thing only, and it's between his legs. So they are hormonal, they're angry, they're difficult. Do not recommend a stallion. Mares? If you just want a nice, friendly, easygoing horse, get yourself a gelding. Now, there are some great stallions out there. I will say, there are some wonderful stallions. It's all down to the disposition of the horse. But in general, stallion is probably not where you want to go. Mares are a great middle ground because they tend to be more intelligent and sharp than your average gelding, and they will also fuck you up, much like a stallion will, but they're only hormonal once a year during breeding season, where my mare turns into the biggest bitch ever. But geldings are, if you want a nice, quiet, soft boy, gelding is the safest. But horses, like, stallions will often get the largest, but horses do not have as much, like, sex-based difference in like body type and everything, so you don't need a stallion if you want the biggest horse. You can find a mare that's plenty big enough, a mare that's plenty fierce enough. The differences as far as like that goes, a mare will do you just fine. And I'm biased towards mares because all of my horses that I have personally owned, except one, have been mares.
Jumping ahead real quick for Shelby's comment. Thirsty horses, yes, thirsty horses. And one of my favorite portrayals of thirsty horses is from Song of the Linus, I think, where
Mhm.
their army actually, the opposing forces figure out that the one side has all stallions, so they just bring mares in heat to the battle and win.
Yep, because your stallions are gonna just forget that you even exist. If there are mares and they are in heat, your stallion's just gonna be like, "Okay, bye, motherfucker."
All right. And back to our regular questions as scheduled. Andrea Hartman, can you describe the tone of Boots in 3 words?
Whimsical, adventurous, charming. You're welcome.
Do you have a preferred genre to write?
Fantasy! That was easy.
Would Boots get along with Jorts?
I think so. I think so. Boots would let him borrow the brain cell sometimes. You feel sorry for him.
Cats has a book recommendation if you haven't read it.
Nice.
But I'm guessing you've read it and hate it, so tell her why. Have you read Legends and Latte?
I have not, but I want to. The TBR is long, and I'm a mood reader, but I have heard of it, and I know that it is a cozy fantasy, which I think the world needs more of. So I do intend to read it. It's going to be whenever the mood strikes me. But good news, I haven't read it yet, so I can't say I hate it yet.
Do you ever lose a vibe? I think this is talking about where you usually feel the vibe of the next book, and that's why you haven't written the Nutcracker.
Mm-hmm.
But have you ever started a book, lost the vibe, and then how do you get it back, if you have?
If I lose the vibe, I stop writing the book. I have many unfinished books, and I don't beat myself up over it because all writing is practice. Usually, I've gotten much better over the years of writing at knowing when a vibe is going to stick. So I'm much better at not starting a book that I don't have enough vibe for. But it happens. It happens. There's tons of books that I start, get a couple chapters in, and then stop. And that's fine.
Asking a clarity question, and thank you for asking because I don't know the answer either. Who is Jorts?
Oh, Jorts he had brief internet fame. He is an orange cat, and you can correct me if I'm getting this wrong. He's an office cat, I think. And it all started because Jorts was not very good at grooming himself, and so someone in the office put butter on Jorts to get him to groom himself. And then it was a whole thing about don't put butter on Jorts. And it was very flash in the pan. It has already faded as far as I know, as far as internet animals go. But correct me if I'm wrong about my explanation of Jorts the cat.
I'm looking forward to a future question. All right, Andrea asks, I'm guessing Boots is a tomcat based on the setting. How much did you lean into real animal behavior here, or did you keep it fairly anthropomorphic?
It's fairly anthropomorphic. You will not find Boots the cat going off to bang lady cats, and he also does not do a lot of peeing on everything. So it is anthropomorphic in that way. There is a lot of animal behavior in the book, and I do think that it's fairly true to the animal voice, but it's anthropomorphic in that his tomcat-ness is not really expounded upon. He does have kittens eventually, but it's not in the book. Spoilers for the epilogue. Oh, Amber Greystoke is here. Amber Greystoke is my cover designer. Hey! I'm going to give people your link later so that they can find you and commission you.
Or now, if you Facebook it to
I mean, I can. I don't want to get distracted.
Amber Gray can Facebook
Adam.
Amber
can, yes.
And I can post it in the chat.
Yes. It's Adam as an admin.
Trope Trinity wants to know, what was your non-mare horse? And why do you love them more than me?
My non-mare horse was technically my second horse. His name was Inigo, after Inigo Montoya. from The Princess Bride, and he was amazing. He was in the horse world. We have something called a unicorn, which refers to the best horse you will ever own, and I got mine early. That was him. He died of illness like sooner than I would have liked. He was already older when I got him, but he was only with me for like he was only rideable for like I think 3 years, and then he did live a while after that, but eventually he had to be put down because he had illnesses. But he was an amazing horse. Just, yeah, I don't expound too much, but he was the best horse I've ever had. Don't tell my other horses. Oh, a couple people are leaving. Bye, people.
So, Emma Greystoke has a question, and I also want to share, if you have questions about the book cover or book cover making process, feel free to let us know. Now that they are here, you can get answers from the author and the artist.
And you can always ping Amber separately too if you want to, if you don't want to like talk about it on stream.
So Amber's question is, they are interested in the new cyberpunk idea you mentioned. How do you get from a really rough concept to something you can start writing?
Well, normally I get characters. So the two main characters of the cyberpunk story have shown up. They are like, yes, we're here, write us a story, please. We belong in a cyberpunk setting. So that's step one. Main character or characters show up. Then, and I figure out the setting from them. Where do they belong? And I make them a world. And these two belong in the cyberpunk world. But I need to know the ending. And I need to know a couple of key points in the middle. And that if I have those all really strongly, like feel confident about them, then I know I can start writing. And it's hard to describe exactly when that clicks in my brain because it's my brain, so I know it really well. I couldn't tell somebody else, like, yes, you have enough, write this story, especially since I'm a pantser. But I haven't been letting the cyberpunk one get further than the main characters in the setting because I don't want it to, because then I will just get really focused on wanting to write that, and I need to focus on Adventure and Mage. But the cyberpunk one might actually take some plotting on my part because it would be my first mystery, and I don't know if I can completely pants a mystery. I don't think I'll plot to the depth that most people do, but I do think I have to figure out a little bit more stuff than I normally figure out before I start writing that one.
So we got a couple questions coming in the chat for our book cover artist. We'll get to them in just a moment. If anyone else has a few more they want to throw into that section, feel free. But we're going to go with, if Boots is big for a cat, is he a Maine Coon mix? Have you ever had a Maine Coon?
He's not Maine Coon side, definitely. He's just like a bigger cat. I've never had a Maine Coon. We've always had just... Basically, my family has whatever cat wanders onto our farm and adopts us. And occasionally we adopt from the Humane Society, but...
Once.
Once.
But CCat asks, I saw some of your updates on The Night and Its Moon on Goodreads. Do you, I missed a copy and paste, but are you working on that, or have any plans for that?
Yes, I'm working on it. I almost have enough videos filmed that I can start putting it out. I like to get about halfway through the book before I start putting out the read-along videos, just in case I run into something where I have to stop reading. There will be no interruption in your videos. So it's coming. It's coming. Boy, do I have thoughts. As I'm sure you can imagine, I have so many thoughts.
All right. So Amber is not here with us, so they will have to listen to Julian say a thing while they type up their response. Also, I'm just about caught up with questions. If we don't have any questions after these two are answered, we'll do our final giveaway. But 2 questions for Amber. How did you think of this cover?
So Amber can go into depth, and we've already talked about this, so I don't want to get too repetitive, but this is a scene from the book, and basically I send her a bunch of stuff, like mood boards and Pinterest and everything, and we talk about potential covers. She sends me back sketches, we talk it out, and eventually we came down to this one. And if you want to ask her for more details, I'm sure would be happy to answer.
Yes, Emma, we are gonna pause.
Oh, by the way, just another quick shout out for Amber. She's really great as far as commissions go. I'm sure she gives me special treatment because I'm her sister, but she is really determined to make sure that your piece is exactly how you want it. So she will make small adjustments if you need them. She wants to make sure that it's perfect. So she's worth the money, for sure. Talk to her about prices separate from this, though. Don't start that whole thing in the thread.
I'm going to give Amber another 10 seconds or so to type up their answer, and if they don't have anything to type up on this, then we'll hop to their next one real quick. Okay, Amber, this is a little bit of a follow-up to your first question, because your first question was, how did you come up with this cover? Second one is, which element did you start with? And I know, depending on where they're set up, they might be having technical difficulties because their internet is our crappy internet too. If we fail to get answers from them, I'll just make Julian do a special video with them in the future answering.
Yeah, if you guys want to have me sit down with my cover artist and do a Q&A, let me know. We'll do that. We can do that sometime. She did answer.
Amber is starting to answer part one. Like Julian said, most of the ideas and concepts come from Julian, and for this one, Amber actually started with something called photo bashing, which sounds very cool.
And violent.
Where I grabbed a lot of pictures, and that helped me nail down the comparison and feel.
Yep.
Alright, thank you, Amber, for participating and sharing that.
Like I said, if you guys really want me to do a Q&A with her, we could do that sometime.
Would you rather bring Boots, Joanna, and Levi to our world, or you go to theirs?
I would feel so bad dragging poor Levi to our world. His life is hard enough. I think I'd have to go to theirs just to spare the poor boy from that.
Give me just a moment.
Adam's catching up, but I think we're pretty caught up with the questions so far. Is everybody still enjoying their time? We have roughly the same amount of people still with us. 18 and 19 keep jumping on and off.
If you were living in Boots' world, would you rather be with Levi and Boots during their adventure, or with Joanne during the course of the book?
I think I'd rather be with Joanna because she gets to do a lot of adventuring and fighting, and that sounds neat. And riding horses. A lot of riding horses, swinging swords. Sounds like a good time. I'd probably get my ass handed to me, but it'd be fun.
Alright, if I've been missing a question, feel free to throw it back out there for me. I apologize. Scribbledoll wants to know, how would you compare pantsing a book to GMing D&D?
I've talked about this in a couple videos already. I think if I was to give my pantsing method a name, you know, like the snowflake method or whatever, there's a million different names for various methods of plotting, not really for pantsing, but if I was to give mine a name, it would be the D&D method, where basically I'm the GM and my characters are the players and I throw things at them and they react. I also do GM tabletop, so that experience I think helps with that, and I GM it in a similar way where I don't go in with such a concrete plan. I want to see what the players are going to do. I want to modify the adventure to what the players are doing. I don't want to ever like railroad them. I railroad them as little as possible, and I often don't know how they're going to solve the ending. There are several options usually when they get to the ending of the campaign that they could do, and sometimes they don't even do any of those options and they go a completely different direction. So it's like that, but with my characters in my own head.
All right, I've finally caught up to our questions, so we're going to pause for our final giveaway of our limited edition signed.
Signed. I haven't signed it yet, but it will be signed. Obviously, this is the proof copy, so it's a little bit imperfect. The words are all there, unreadable, but the cover's a little bit imperfect, and the margins are a smidge imperfect as well, but it will be signed, so.
I'm just double checking to make sure this person has not won anything previously. I don't know if they're still with us, but
Just dancing the book. Oh, if they're not still with us, we will pick somebody else.
how do I check if they're still with us?
We'll say their name, and if they don't comment. Oh, okay. We will say their name, and if they don't comment, that means they're probably not still with us. All right, the winner is Hedgehog Dilemma 5. You are the winner of the signed proof copy. Let me know if you are still here. Perhaps you have become distracted. Yay, Hedgehog is still here. You have won the signed copy. I will get it to you. I hope you're excited about it. I don't know. It's an imperfect proof copy. Ah, my ears.
Alright, we got a couple new questions and a request for bringing Amber onto either a video Q&A or a special video. Andrea Hartman asked, what D&D class is Boots the Cat?
Rogue, maybe? I don't actually play a lot of D&D. I DM tabletop, but not D&D. D&D is too limiting for me. In our last campaign, we had the players fighting multi-dimensional dinosaurs through an old factory trying to close a portal before an elder god could get through. So that's the kind of thing we're doing when I run tabletop. Kind of an elder god, kind of an alien.
Alright, next question. Which character of Joanna, Boots, and Levi surprised you the most over the course of the book? Like, did any of them go in a direction or do things unexpected?
I mean, the characters always do things I don't expect because I don't know what they're going to do until they do it.
But which surprised you the most?
I don't know if any of them surprised. I can't remember. I wrote this in 2016, remember? So I don't know if I have an answer because it's been a long time since I was drafting this one. Maybe the ogre. I think maybe the ogre surprised me the most, actually. I know that wasn't one of the characters that you asked about, but... Oh, also Prosper the mage, a side character who was in there for like 2 chapters, maybe just 1 chapter, and everybody loved him. That was a surprise. They were like, where's our Prosper's book? And I'm like, I'm sorry, he's only there for a very short time. Oh, we're back up to 20. I feel like a real star now.
Why can't you remember 2016 perfectly?
Is that your question, Adam?
No.
Who's
Trinity
asking?
wants to know.
I'm sorry. I've let you down. Trove Trinity is one of my OGs. And I have failed her. I do not remember 2016. Tears.
Is there a cat in Adventurer Mage, or will there be soon?
There is not a cat yet, but there is a cat-like creature, which
Just
will be in
wait
the
till
3rd
book
book.
5.
No, it's the 3rd book. You don't have to wait till book 5. 3rd book is going to be a cat-like creature. A hedgehog, yes, also my brain. Nobody's brain is okay at this point. 0 of us are okay. 21! Oh! We've hit our record. We had 21 viewers. Hi! I feel so popular. Adam was mentioning book 5 because he really loves long series, and much to his dismay, he married an author who likes to write standalones. So now that I'm 3 books into Adventurer Mage, he's like, just keep going. Just keep going. At first he was like, yeah, 3 books, and now that I'm on 3, he's like, 5 books. If I got to 5, which is never going to happen, he's going to be like, 8 books.
We have this
benefit of being as I live with the author, I can talk to them about the characters and what they would do. And there are more things that these characters would do, more places they would be, and we've talked about them, and they're cool and exciting. And the only way for you all to get to share in that is for the books to be written.
Some books work really well as standalones, like Boots. Works really great as a standalone. It does not need more. It's fine. Somebody else is asking me about Shrek. I can't tell if you're sassing me or if you're serious. I hope it's sass. We welcome sass here, by the way. Like, roast me, destroy me. But the Shrek thing, it's gonna haunt me forever.
So, Trope Trinity is trying to overcome the last question of theirs I posted. So they want to know, would all books be better with at least one cat?
Probably. Or an animal of some kind, I say, because I include one in all of my books. But at least one cat, I think. You can't go wrong.
Have you ever had a hedgehog?
Nope. That is a pet that I have not had. I thought about it, but they can be kind of like difficult to take care of health-wise. So I just have not had a hedgehog yet. Also, they're very nocturnal and kind of shy. And I like a pet that wants to interact with me.
Have you ever had a hedgehog? Did I ask that already?
Yes.
Okay.
And
Sorry. No.
hedgehog dilemma says,
getting,
what are you saying? I'm sorry, I don't. Are you my pet? Is that
All right.
Is that our relationship?
Hedgehog recommends that I read the Murderbot series, and I'm on it. I'm on like the first one that got long. It used to be, I do a lot of like 2-hour road trips, 3-hour road trips, and the first several books are perfect for that because it's like, oh, my 3 hours are done and the short little book is done. But their last one was like much longer than that. But I'm not done with the whole series, but working on it.
That's also, Murderbot is also on my TBR, but once again, I must obey the vibes in all things, including my reading.
So you caught No Life, No Games question a little bit, but they were
Yeah.
asking, so is the story in your own world or Shrek? Did you explain that?
I don't know if you're fucking with me, but I will tell you anyway. This book has absolutely nothing to do with Shrek. Zero things. Zero things. The only thing it has in common with Shrek is that there is a cat in it, and technically there is an ogre, but he is nothing like Shrek. But I will forever be chased by this Shrek thing. Because stupid Shrek and stupid Shrek Puss in Boots.
We have 2 questions. Would Boots let Trinity hold them like a baby and squish his belly?
He would hate every minute of it, but he'd probably let you. He would just cat glare the entire time.
And then we have a question for you. What is Murderbot?
Murderbot is a series I don't know much about, but it's a series of novellas, and now it's got novels, I guess. But
All
it's a
right,
sci-fi
so
series.
I can answer
Fill
that
them
a little-
in a brief.
a little bit. So like I think this came out 2019ish, and it was just like they just started vomiting them out, kind of like the way Julian writes, and then they like got published in bigger, and then they had to write longer books. But it's the future. Murderbot is a cyborg, and cyborgs have their brains overridden and controlled to keep them from like slaughtering people. But this Murderbot, who calls himself Murderbot, that's his personal name, their personal name for themselves. They have cracked their code so they don't have to be forced to do things anymore, and they're trying to figure out what to do with themselves now after that. And I'll just leave it at that.
Leave it at that. That's a good tantalizing.
Self-proclaimed Murderbot frees himself from controls and tries to find self and...
So, I have to pee. Would Adam like to take over the stream real quick while I go to the bathroom? You guys can ask Adam questions.
We can see if I can keep people interested as we continue.
My mic, or no, you don't need my mic. That's right. It's on my phone. Here. All right, I'll be back. Have fun.
So this is your opportunity to get the inside uncensored scoop on Julian, since I am exposed to most of their writing process. So if there's anything you wanted to ask, but we're afraid of what they might say. I'm also catching up with copying and pasting. Oh, this is a good one. What is Julian's favorite color? So I know Julian's persona role-playing character's favorite color, which is green, but I keep forgetting what their actual as a human being's favorite color is. So maybe I'll remember after they come back and answer this one. Hedgehog wants karaoke songs for each character. Hello, Shelby. I don't know the names of songs, so we'll save for that for Julian coming back. Oh, CCAT. How did we meet? This is my favorite story. We met in a LARP, live action role play. I've been doing it for a while, and like I'm a confident guy, and I was out there stabbing people. And I had never noticed Julian before. It was like they'd been there a few times, but they hadn't been very good. But they went home with their friends and family and practiced a lot, and they came back and were good. And they kicked my ass all day. I could not touch them. Like, I never even wounded them. They just killed me time and time again. I'm like, damn, who is this person? And I need to get to know them better. So that's how we met. They killed me a lot. Question for me. How did you help convince Julian to write a trilogy, or did she do that on her own? So I think the biggest thing that I did to, like, I'm always chatting in her ear about how they need to write longer and more, because I think that's really a little bit more of their niche, because they need the space to let their characters breathe. They're very character-driven writer. And so I'm always encouraging that. But I've been on a dry spell and not motivated to read and hadn't read books for years. And then they brought the first Adventurer Mage out, and reading through that revitalized my joy and love for reading, and got, like, I've read my first physical books on my own, like not just audiobooks. I actually sat down and read them since then. And I think the fact that I connected and it like energized me so much, it also energized her. And so then they started writing the next book in the series right away. Does Julian use they, them pronouns? Julian does not. I was challenged by a friend once to remove gendered pronouns from my vocabulary, and so I keep trying to do that from time to time, but Julian prefers she, her. Has Julian ever written out two characters talking for no reason at all, but kept it out of her books? To my knowledge, no. But now they're sneaking up on me, and
Are you afraid?
I'm not afraid.
You should be.
All right, so I will try to catch up for my questions with my eavesdropper in the background, and then we'll return back to Julian questions. Do I have a favorite character Julian wrote, or a favorite book? I do have a favorite book. Julian knows which one this is. You will never see it, apparently. It is Child of Fire. They wrote it back in 2007 during the first year of our marriage. They emailed me the chapters, one chapter at a time, while I was deployed overseas, and maybe that's part of what jaded it for me, and has made it like jaded as in has made it like my favorite book of theirs. Tambor and Tombor are two of my favorite characters from it. They were one of the rare cases where we see villains for POV in Julian's writings.
Although we do get it in Adventurer Mage too, at villain points of view.
I know, but Tamber and Tombor are lovable villains,
They
unlike
are. They
unlike
were.
the
The
Briards.
Briards are very difficult to love.
My favorite adventurer mage character. Um, okay, and I remember her. What is her name? Second book.
Lily?
Lily. Lily is probably my favorite adventurer mage character. You get her only briefly in the first book, but you see them more in the second. Um, do I read YA? I read everything, but I prefer longer. Do I have a Wheel of Time is my favorite series. Tamara Pierce and David Leigh Eddings and David and Leigh Eddings are among my favorite authors. Do I have a favorite YA book?
Probably.
Black Cauldron.
Oh, I was gonna say Becca Cooper.
Becca Cooper counts as YA. Then then the Becca Cooper series. As a child YA, like a narrow YA would be Black Cauldron, in part because I had a fifth grade teacher that read us the book out loud with voices, and I loved it. Still not done with that in questions. Remember that Julian said I liked Dragonfly. What about Dragonfly appealed to me? So that is the second in that series. And it was a delightful little romp that it's
You're a delightful little romp.
like it is kind of more about a character and their growth and having fun, and is less about like a great problem. And I mean, they have problems that they encounter, but it's definitely more about, even more so than many of our other books, about that character doing stuff and having a fun, enlightening journey, and much less about the conflict and struggle, which is probably why we've tabled Dragonfly, because there isn't as much conflict or struggle.
Needs more conflict. My number one note. How I hate it.
Why won't Trial by Fire be published? I think I don't know what. Oh, Child of Fire. Child of Fire was the name of it.
It's lost.
It's in part because Julian cannot find the files for it anymore.
Ages. It's gone.
All right, thank you, Akrai, for joining us. You have to wake up, so I understand you're going to sleep.
Yeah, definitely. Good idea. Get some sleep.
I will hand you back to Julian and start catching up on chat questions.
All right, we'll try to catch up on the questions. I don't know how much longer I want to stream, because I'm not like a super long kind of streaming person.
It is also nearing my bedtime.
Yeah, it's getting later in the day, but we'll answer the next few questions, and then the phone will fall down. That's what'll happen. I had it so precariously balanced before. I don't know if I can get it in that spot again. I need something. What was I gonna say? We'll answer a couple more questions, and then I'm gonna see if you guys would rather we finish out by answering a few more questions or reading a small section from the book. So if you'd rather ask more questions, type questions in the chat. If you'd rather read a small section from the book, type book in the chat. But otherwise, we'll catch up with your questions. Yes, indeed, Hedgehog, rip my lost files.
So I think I've pasted all of the Julian questions, and I'll get back to them in a moment. But as I am the star, I have one last question.
Yes, everyone loves Adam after all.
As a fan of the Black Cauldron book, what do you think of the animated Disney movie? I've actually never seen the Disney movie in full, sitting down from front to end, so I don't really have an opinion on it. Sorry. Alright, Julian, back to your questions. What is your favorite color?
I don't have a single favorite color, but my favorite color combination. My favorite color combination is black and red.
Good choice. Alright. Assign karaoke songs to each of the major characters.
Oh, I lost connection there for a minute. I hope that didn't mess anybody up too bad. Did that mess anybody up too bad?
If you're still here, repeat
Okay.
the question.
Okay, so assigning karaoke songs to characters. I had a song for Levi. Can I remember what it was? Probably not. Joanna would get some sort of kick-ass song. Like she could sing Eye of the Tiger or something. I could see her doing that. Lyle would accompany her. He would refuse to sing a song himself. Boots is a cat, so he would meow. He would sing the Meow Mix jingle. There you go. But Levi has a specific song, and I cannot remember what it is. I'll think of it, maybe. I'll put it in the comments.
All right. So I'll let you know. They asked me my favorite question, which is how we met. So I got to tell them that story of you killing me over and over again.
Ah, yes. Slaughter on the battlefield.
Julian, which of your protagonists in all of your books would win in a fight? Ooh, I've got two answers depending on if you do
help me out
fanfic
here.
or
Help me
fanfic
out
or
here.
not.
Like what? Okay, what is?
If you include fanfic, Adar.
Oh, Aslier?
Yeah.
Aslier would definitely give a lot of characters a run for their money. The only issue I could see them all having is Valentine and his magic, because I usually write low magic worlds, and none of them are really prepared to face a guy with lightning. So...
Yeah, but your Kunari's been struck by a lightning.
Yeah, no, Aslier would probably handle it. So if she's in the running, she's familiar with magic being cast at her, so she would be able to fight him off. But Joanna would probably lose because she has no experience with magic. None of the characters in the game, they're in a sci-fi, so they would not be prepared for a man to start blasting them with lightning.
Well, see, that's why are we doing fan... Well, they deal... In the game, Song deals with electricity, and they have to overcome it.
True, but not to this like specific situation of man throw lightning bolt. But depending on the situation with Valentine, they could wear him down, so his magic was less potent. So there's a lot of.
So, Song's.
I think my phone is running out of juice. That's bad.
And
Oh, Adam's gonna plug it in.
you'll have to hold it though.
I'm gonna have to hold it. Oh, that's annoying.
Sorry.
Yay! All right.
So, and this kind of boils into, can we find Adventurer Mage Book 1 on Wattpad? Because many of the characters and books we're just talking about aren't all published, but are out there on Wattpad and other places. So first, the question, is Adventurer Mage Book 1 on Wattpad?
Currently, yes. It
Alright.
will be taken down. It's not going to be there forever. Once Adventurer Mage is ready to publish, I will be taking down the first draft, which is on Wattpad.
Then we mentioned New Ways of the Old Gods, your Ferelden
Dragon Age
fanfic. Where can they find that?
New Ways of Old Gods can be found on AO3 and I believe also on Wattpad.
And then we have the game. We mentioned Song from the game.
That cannot be found anywhere currently.
No, poor Song.
Sorry.
All right, give me a moment to catch up on questions.
We're down to 14 people. They're getting bored. Hopefully some people will catch this in reruns. I hope it's not too boring to watch. That's why I don't want to go super long, because if people want to catch this later and they see that it's like 3
All right.
hours long. All right.
But we're just getting spammed cats now, so I think we are out of questions.
So, okay. Did anybody comment book or questions?
What do you mean?
Before I told them whether they wanted me to read an excerpt, or whether they wanted to ask more questions
I didn't catch the ad.
for the last little bit.
I think we're to the point. We have no more questions, so if you want to continue, then it's excerpt time.
Okay.
But otherwise, we can let them free into the world.
Be free, my children.
Yeah, we're down to 11.
Thank you so much for coming, everyone. I'll read you a little bitty bit Adam might actually need to hold the phone, though, so I can hold the book. This is why I keep him around. He's very useful. I will be cold reading my own book, which you'd think I'd be good at, but in fact I will stumble all over myself. This first little section I actually added, so this is going to be new to those who baited the book. It's very short. I put it on here to try to catch an agent's eye, and I liked it, so I left it on here. So, part 1, The Shades. The first time Princess Joanna encountered the Shades, she was 11 years old. Joanna stood on the cushioned seat of her father's carriage, her body half out the window, black curls tangling in the wind. Her dark eyes shone with eagerness as the powerful horses charged up the country road. The guards laughed and waved at her as they rode alongside. She stared jealously at the swords strapped to their saddles. "Joanna, please come inside. We're getting near Carabas Castle." A hand at Joanna's elbow pulled her back through the window. She plopped into the seat beside Lyle, her personal bodyguard. The boy was the same age as she and looked as nervous as a bird to be in such a small space with the king. He perched on his seat, hands clasped on his lap, not even looking out the window. Joanna pursed her lips at her father, who pulled her down before he snapped the window shut. "Why shouldn't I look at Carabas Castle? It's in our land, isn't it?" "It's on the ogre's land," the king said, rubbing his bearded chin. He was giving Joanna that look that she was coming to know was an "what am I going to do with you" look. "We should probably take this off our tour route, but the people in Strand Village love to see us ride through." "You brought me out here. Why can't I look at the castle?" She folded her arms and leaned her head against the carriage side, catching a glimpse of passing trees through the window. The smell of growing things and good earth filtered enticingly in past the glass. "Because I know you. One look at that place and you'll be forming wild schemes to liberate it. The captain of the guard has a job to do besides listening to a young princess's wild ideas." "They're not wild ideas," Joanna huffed, fogging the glass. "They're sound military tactics." Her father's expression changed to an indulgent smile as the carriage came to a halt. The smile vanished. "Why have we stopped?" "Sire, something's not right," one of the guards riding outside called. Joanna couldn't miss the urgency in his tone. "Stay inside." Joanna's father put a hand on her knee before pushing out of the carriage. She knew he didn't mean for her to see him draw his sword, but she saw. Joanna whipped around to face Lyle, whose freckles stood out like pocks on his milky cheeks. His pale eyes were too wide. "Do you have your sword?" she asked. "Yes." He shot her a warning look as he reached for his hip. She'd taken his blade from him before on occasion, but Joanna didn't demand it now. She was distracted by the shouts of the men and the whinnies of horses. "Shades," she whispered urgently, pulling both herself and Lyle to the floor of the carriage. "Draw your sword," she commanded. "I can't fight shades," Lyle spluttered. See what I mean about the reading? His voice was breaking. He drew his sword just the same. He was a gangling boy, all two long arms and legs, as he fumbled clumsily with the weapon, trying not to strike the princess or himself. More yells outside, more horses screaming. Joanna heard her father's voice shouting orders. Someone cried out in pain. She clenched her fists, fire raging inside of her. If she was allowed to fight, she could help. She could at least instruct her men, as father was. Something heavy, a person, hit the side of the carriage. Joanna gritted her teeth as she jostled into Lyle. The window above Joanna broke and showered her in shards like glittering sand. She yelped, but managed to contain a louder scream. While Lyle looked terrified, Joanna's heart raced with excitement alongside the fear. The ogre's minion crept through the shattered window. Its body was long and stretched like a shadow cast at dusk. This shade was full-bodied and so black she almost couldn't see through it. It held the vague shape of a man, with slender arms and sharp grasping hands, slithering down the inside of the carriage door towards them. Its eyes were twin holes, shining with the light from behind it. For the moment there was no mouth. "Call for your father," Lyle ordered, pushing himself in front of and slightly atop Joanna, brandishing his short sword in trembling hands. Before Joanna could open her mouth to yell, a sound that would surely have every guard and the king himself converging on the carriage door, the shade slashed with its hand. Lyle had begun his training, but no amount of practice with his father in a dusty field could have prepared him for this situation. He yelped as the shadow's claws, which looked as solid as smoke, but were actually as keen as steel, sliced deep into his arm. His sword clattered to the glass-strewn floor. Joanna didn't think. She scrambled for the blade. Glass cut her knuckles as she scooped it up, shifted her body around the struggling Lyle, and thrust with everything she had. Rah! I'm bad at doing war cries. She startled herself with her own battle cry, but it was effective. She drove her borrowed sword into the shade's chest, where it met with a faint resistance like tearing fabric. Teeth bared, hands slick with her own blood, Princess Joanna wrenched the sword upward, ripping the shade from nape to the top of its head. It made no sound, but fell away, two halves of its body flapping like a torn flag as its limbs lost purchase and it slid from sight. Joanna stood amidst the broken glass, gasping fierce breaths between bared teeth like a wild creature. She looked the part, with her hair frizzing around her face and blood streaming down her hands onto her pale blue dress. Lyle crouched on the floor, holding his bleeding arm, looking at her with mingled amazement and concern. Inwardly, she was aflame as she had never been before. No monsters were going to hurt her friends, her people, not now, not ever. Later, much later, when she was back home at the palace, cleaned, dried, and bandaged, she strode up to the king and announced, "Father, I wish to have a sword tutor, beginning immediately." There you go. That's the first little section. I'm supposed to get agents excited. Don't think it worked.
All right, I will catch up on any questions we have, and then otherwise we've been going at this for just about 2 hours.
Yep, we'll
Thank
finish
you all
up
for
pretty
joining
soon
us.
here. We'll catch up on the last few questions.
Since this part is new, did you always know this happened in Joanna's past, or did you not think of it until you wrote it?
The second one, I didn't know. I was just like, I need a catchy scene to get the agent's attention. So I just wrote this, pantsed it like I do everything else. Is that everything?
That is all of our questions at the moment.
All right, cool. I think we're going to end here at roughly 2 hours. Thanks everybody who joined me, especially everybody who stayed for the whole thing. You are the MVPs tonight. Thanks everybody who won. Make sure if you won something that you contact me on my social media and get me your address, okay? Because then I will send it to you. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this stream, the book itself might not be available until tomorrow, like my time, Central Time, because of various snafus involving Amazon and how much it hates me. But the book will be available very soon, and I will post it on all of my social media the moment that Amazon releases it from its icy grip. So thank you everybody for joining me, and anybody who's catching up on this, hi, hello, thank you so much. And maybe I will post something asking for questions for a Q&A with my sister / cover artist. But for now, we shall leave you, if I can figure out how to end a stream. I don't actually know how to do that either. I think it's probably that.
Probably the X.
Probably
Hit
that.
the X.
Well,
Hit the button.
say goodbye, Adam.
Goodbye, Adam.
Bye. Yes.